So in this particular video, we're going to look at Outlook integration. So Microsoft Outlook integration within Relay 360. So if you don't have this at the moment, you can just contact customer support and we can install the Outlook add-in tool that's needed for the two systems to talk to each other. In terms of using the system, so when you're in a client's file, so again I'm in a client code John Gavin Gav J01 at the moment. If I have just done a quote for him, say on Motor, which I've just done here, I can actually email him details of the quote. So again, if I want to generate a quote on the system, and I'll just do this quickly, I'm going to click letter, print pack, and quote issue Motor, and OK. So I'm just basically creating a quote pack for John. Now, if I want to email that to John, what do I do? So if I just right click and select send email. So send email. And what this would actually do is it'll open up Relay within the system, or Outlook within the system. And what it allows me to do is send emails through Relay, and these emails will be stored automatically in the Documents tab of the client's file. So there's no need for you to index these emails after the fact. If you've generated the email like I've just demonstrated, it'll be stored automatically. So you can basically just fill in the details. And in the subject line you can put in whatever you want. You'll notice, well, you see a code that's in this basically in the subject line. So what is that? It's a tracking code. So once this code is within the subject line, the emails to and from the customer, so once they reply back to you, their reply will actually go back into the client's file automatically. So as long as you don't delete the code when you're sending or when the customer is actually replying, the response will go into their client file automatically. You can put wordings in front of the code or behind it. Just do not delete the code. You put in the email address if it's not correct, and you can send it off. Now, before I would want to send this, one thing you can obviously do is you can actually attach documents to emails within Relay. So to do that, I'm just going to minimize my email, go into my Documents tab, and you can see here there's my quote pack. So how do I get that into my email? Well, if I just click on the quote pack and just drag and drop that pack down into my email, it opens, I drag, and I haven't let go of it yet, but if I just drop it here in the body, then the quote pack comes in, and it comes in at PDF level. So now I can click send, and off it goes. So to recap, I used the letter button to create my quote pack. I right clicked and clicked send email, and I filled in details that I wanted, and then what I did was I dragged and dropped the documents pack or the quote pack into the email. Once I do that, the email gets stored automatically, which is this one here. If they respond back to you, you'll see you'll get a response with an in. So it's recommended to send emails this way because of the fact that they're recorded automatically in the system. So they're stored in the Documents tab. Also, if you right click on a policy line and select Combine View, in Combine View you'll see emails as indicated by the yellow envelope. Sometimes what might happen is a customer might actually send you an email that doesn't have a code on it. So, for example, you didn't send them an email through Relay in the first place. So, how can you get emails into Relay? So, it's very straightforward. So, go into your Outlook, right click, and if you select Export to Relay 360, let me just pull this up so you can see it. So export to Relay 360 should be available. Now this is assuming you have the Outlook add-in application. So if you don't have this, please contact customer support and they will add it in for you. So click there, export to Relay 360, and you'll get this little box. So this is a very important box. This is basically how you're going to index the email directly to the client file in Relay. So it says client policy or claim code. it wants to know where to put the email. So at the bottom here I can see gavj01. So I put in gavj01. Now I should also put in the sequence, and this is very important. So this particular policy is to do with the first line in the client file, so 001. So it means that this email is going to be indexed to the client file, but also associated directly with that quote line, 001. You can see here as well, you can actually put in an additional code that will represent the claim. So for example, the first claim that would be added on to this particular client policy would be 001. So it means the email would be directly related with that claim. Another feature that you can do here is you can actually rename the email before you import it. So you can see here I have a subject line. It may not be applicable to me here, so I can actually just put in what it is. So say for example, a customer sent you details of their no claims bonus, driver's license, then I can actually rename it here before I bring it in. So just click update, export, and yes. So the system tags it in Outlook, so it's in green, so you know it's been imported directly into the client's file. If I minimize that, go to the Documents tab, I'll actually see the document there. Sorry, the email. Now, please note when you're indexing emails in this way, it actually brings it in the time and date that you received the email originally, not the time and date of the indexing. Okay, so sometimes we get queries about that. Customers think that it hasn't actually come in because they're looking at the very top. So when you index emails, it'll bring it in at the time and date you actually received the email in the first place. Another feature here in Outlook integration is if you right click on a policy line, you'll see this option here called add emails. So what this is, it allows you actually to index bulk emails to a client file in one go. So rather than indexing them one at a time, you can actually highlight them and just drag and drop them all in. So I right click, I select add emails. I can associate at client level or policy level. If I open up my Outlook, I can select as many policies as I want, and basically if you just drag and drop these emails in to that box, they will be stored. And there you go. So if I click OK now, those emails will all be stored now in the client's file. It didn't give me an opportunity to rename the emails using that particular way, but if you actually just select any of these, just one click, just give it one click, it actually opens it up. And you can rename the email now. So just to summarize the Outlook integration, if you want to send an email to a client, you should do so through Relay System because it'll be stored automatically. So right click and send email. You will note as well that if you click this button here, the email also opens, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't put in the full sequence. So it only says gavj01. That means that email will just be about the client in general. You don't want that. You should always associate emails with a policy. So I wouldn't normally use this particular option here for sending an email because it's only at client level. Likewise, if I actually select his email here, it does the same thing. It'll only put it in at client level. So I would get into the habit of right clicking and selecting send email. So that email is associated directly with this policy line. Also in your Outlook, you can index an email directly. So just select your email, right click, and select export to Relay 360 down the bottom here. Finally, if you want to bring in emails in bulk, just right click and select add emails, and if you go into your Outlook, you can basically just select a whole bunch of emails and drag and drop them into the add emails box. Click, drag, drop, and then you can press OK and they'll be stored. So that concludes the video on Outlook integration.